Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Daily High with your host, Matt McGregor and Tone Bays. Good morning, Tone. How are you?
Morning. I am back in the Northeast. Actually, the weather is pretty good
North Pole,
here.
back in the North Pole.
Yeah, here to see family for Thanksgiving, and I'll be back in the Caribbean in about a week. So I'm just here for a week. Good to have a nice workstation and some green screens, and catch up with family is awesome.
It is. You're having Thanksgiving there, obviously. That's a important American thing. Is that today or tomorrow?
Today.
Is that today? Thursday?
Yeah.
Cool. I'm off to Dubai next Monday. A fight announcement will be coming tomorrow morning, but I'm fighting a guy named Jay Chains at an open weight. The guy's 220 pounds and I'm 178 pounds. It's going to be fantastic. But I'm in serious shape this time, not like a big fat potato. I'm in serious shape. Shave the head. That's how serious I am about this fight. So I can't wait to bring that to you. Let's go into the charts because I missed yesterday's show and my internet was bad on Monday. I feel like I've been way out of the loop. So let's get back into that. Oh shit! Has that already been announced? That wasn't meant to be there. There was somebody did post something funny on my Twitter, which was like me with a shaved head and you with my big floppy hair. And I was trying to pull that up before the show. All right, let's go into the charts. Weekly time frame. Everybody's talking about is the bottom in, and perhaps there's a case to be made that the bottom's in. I'm looking at my oscillators now. The EXA is the only one. Socrates EXA looking at the bottom here. I'm not convinced the bottom's in. I'm not interested in Bitcoin just yet. There's still a lot for me to look forward to on the downside. And if we recover, I'm the happiest guy in the world. I only hold Bitcoin. I sold a lot of Bitcoin. Well, not a lot, but I sold a significant amount in dollar terms, up higher to buy back lower. And I'm ready to do that. I've got that cash ready, locked and loaded. I'm still waiting on a lower low here and a green diamond on alphanumerics. If you don't have alphanumerics, you're absolutely alphanumerics territory. I got a high probability of getting a really, really once in a generation buy-in. Now, I was screaming from the rooftops that I'm looking for at a minimum, I always do this, a 3-day green diamond, okay? And the good news is, if we don't go any lower, the 3-day green diamond did come in, okay? And I always say DCA is bullshit, and people hate when I say that. And there was I said something stupid last week and offended half our audience. I said, that's boomer shit, like just DCAing each week. We're better than that here. Traders. But what I meant really was to save your money ETA process off a 3-day green, which has never ever done you wrong. And the green diamond, that's a DCA territory. You're already 25% in trade. There's nothing wrong with that. It's been a good bounce thereafter of that green diamond. I still see the fact that we came up and touched on perfectly the 7 simple moving average on a 9 here on a bottom RI. I would need to see us start to clear the 7 simple moving average and make our way up. The problem with these positions is you get confirmation that is a really tricky thing. Without the green diamonds on just having the green diamond 3-day, which was really good. So, you kind of need to be at like 112 to start being positive again, because far we've come down, and you need to clear the moving averages for the confirmation. And at that point, you're like, wow, I just missed a massive move. It's hard to buy in without any reason to buy in at the lower points. That's why the green diamonds on alpha are the only thing that can save you when there's a falling knife. And perhaps that 3-day green diamond was the bottom. We might look back on that and go, wow, 3-day green diamonds, I mean, they've been wrong before. Maybe they weren't this time as well, but not for me. not for me. I still think, just to go back to the point, I still think that there's more downside. I still think this will fade. I think that the weekly green diamond at some point, and that time, trust me, I'll be screaming it, screaming it, screaming it. 4-hour time frame. You know, that was where that green diamond came in here at the low. We had a good recovery. It's the 4-hour. I still got this going through like a flu epidemic, and I've got one in my fight, but it's just in my throat. I feel my body. I don't mind the 4-hour. Looking at 4-hour, you know how I always say, like, we tend to like go trail the, moving average all the way down, all the way down, all the way down until we get the other side of them. And we are on the other side of them now, and we're coming back to retest, as support rather than beginning as something. I don't know. It might be, but it's still way too early for me to be interested in the 4-hour time frame. Once again, I'm gonna just finish off by saying that, reiterate the point. I'm still looking for further downside and for looking for a buy, a life-changing buy at some point if we get a green diamond in, on the weekly time frame on Alpha Numerics. That's me coming back to you in the studio, Tone. I'm glad I got that out without coughing my lungs up. Please like and subscribe. Please share it with your friends. Please use the Discord group that we have here for you. It's a fantastic. It's growing day by day. The Discord group. They're fantastic. You'll see if you want reminders about this green diamond, if you want to see what we're doing in the community, a really smart community is doing, you got to be inside that Discord group. Also, you join the Discord group, you're welcome to have the float indicator on alphanumerics.com for free as well, which is a really, really good position managing tool. It's a great risk assessment tool. You can visualize what kind of leverage you can use on a trade, print it over your trading view charts, all of that Tony and I used to use in the old trading competitions. That's free for you if you're in the Discord group. You'd be remiss not to take up that offer. Tone, take over for me, mate. I'm going to cough my lungs up here.
All right. Yeah, you should probably go on mute. Okay, so
there we go.
I use your Alpha Numerics differently than you. I have it set to reverse. So I also got the green diamond, but I got the green diamond on this past candle. This is the 3-day chart. So we both do have the green diamond. They're just coming in on different candles. I like to buy after the reversal. You like to see that diamond come in before the reversal. The 3-day chart looks good. I know this candle is a little wrong, but the 3-day chart is giving us an MRI buy. It gave us a beautiful reversal hammer candle, or like a dragonfly doji kind of thing going on. That's great. I am not very familiar with the 3-day chart as far as like memorizing it. So I don't know how good MRIs are with it. But if I go back in time, we have an MRI top back here in consolidation. It took the price higher, but didn't kick off a new bull trend. We had an MRI top back here that was, kind of negated with more upside. And I want to see if there has been a history of MRI buys. I'm going to get rid of some of these lines because they're so old now. They're completely irrelevant, and they're just quarterly charts. So the last time we had a 3-day MRI buy, that was a great rally. It didn't lead to new all-time highs. It did get, reversed, but that's still a significant rally. That to me looks like a good, 20-30% move. Oh, wait, wrong thing. Yeah, 20%. That was a good estimate on my part. Right into an MRI resistance line. And I want to see if there was another MRI buy on a 3-day. And there it is. But now we're going all the way back to the $25,000 area in September of 2023. But again, beautiful MRI buy. So MRI buys on the 3-day chart have been very good. Here's a couple of extension Cs and an MRI buy over here. Granted, we did go lower eventually, but not before That looks like a 25% move to me. Let me see. Yeah, look at that. Wow, I'm getting good at these estimates of guessing the percent move just by looking at candles. And yeah, so there was a warning right there, almost missed it. So this was as close to an MRI buy as you can get. So I kind of like the MRI buys on the 3-day chart.
3 days really good for Bitcoin, Tone. 3 day. I've been talking about 3 day for about 5 years for alpha, and obviously it's good. You used to talk about the 4 day a lot. I really like the 3 day.
Now I will add to it. Now in this case, I'm gonna start my line a little bit lower because that's a beautiful reversal candle. After a 15% move to the 101 area, this is a mountain of resistance right here. But now let's go look at the other charts. Monthly chart is giving us a bit of a wick. The higher we go into the month end, the more bullish I will be for December. So this is important. If we can somehow get into the high 90s and we create a wick that is longer than the body, that creates a beautiful setup going into December. If we can somehow make it to that 98, 99 range in the next 3 days, which honestly I think is unlikely, but if that happens, I become a huge bull going into December. On the weekly chart, we're just in a downtrend, guys. Like looking at the weekly chart, we have nothing. You have nothing to cling to on a weekly chart other than we're having a good week. So the weekly is going to be quick. The 3 day is going to get turned back into the 1 day. And on a 1 day, here's your alpha numerics green diamond. I have the reverse setup, so I'm getting it on the both things. And we got room into a buy coming in around 95 area. You got we've just passed the early area of resistance. That's the bottom of the channel, and then we got the middle of the channel resistance here, so 95. So to me, it looks like we're going to be dealing with if we keep rising here into the month end, we're going to be dealing with an MRI top and some resistance, very similar to how we reversed back in end of October and early October, but more like end of October, because early October, there was no resistance. It was only an MRI top. Now we're going to have MRI top and resistance. And if we can make it into like the 98 zone, we're going to be dealing with the downwards channel. It'd be nice if we can get there, but we have to break out of the 90s in order to really get bullish here. Short-term chart, 1 hour is my favorite. No MRI tops in the last 24 hours. Maybe this one back here. Yeah, last 24 hours, there was an MRI top. We did go a little bit higher. We're consolidating. I think this is a bullish consolidation. I'm short-term bullish, but we still haven't broken the prior swing high. So it's we need more. Well, I'm going to keep this chart on. We're going to talk about what can happen on March 18. Nothing here, nothing here. Let's see how the markets are. And in gold and silver did rise into Thanksgiving. Now let's look at silver. This is a cup and handle. And if silver is breaking, if silver is bullish next week, I will have to change my mind on silver being at a top, because now silver has spent way too much time in this 50 zone. I mean, I'm not going to lose a lot of money on this trade because I did start shorting it in that $50 zone. So I'm still not that concerned over it, but I am starting to reconsider my short on silver. It looks like it will have one more leg. I'm still going to try to short it, but it will be at a higher price, maybe 60, maybe 70, maybe 75. No idea. But now, because there's two things to it, right? I will always be short on an exponential rise. But you can clearly see that how we topped back in 2011 and it immediately crashed. And then when it came back, it never made it back to the high. It was a lower high. So that creates, I'm even comfortable holding the short all the way through this lower high. But that's not the current situation now. It was that situation last week, but it's not that way anymore. Now we've spent way too much time at the highs, negating the situation that, you don't get a chance to sell the top. Now you have multiple chances to sell the top. And when you have multiple chances to sell the top, it's probably not a top. Just like when you get multiple chances to buy the low, it's probably not the low. And if next week we are hanging around the 52 to 55 zone, that would tell me that silver is gearing up for one more push to the upside. And I might actually flip my trade to be bullish, but I probably wouldn't because I hate chasing higher prices. I will look for another asset to trade, which might be oil, because as you guys saw me mention on oil is having the opposite situation. Oil is keep pushing the limits at the bottom, and oil might kind of dip down, even though I've kind of stayed away from trading oil because it's just that market is way too manipulated. More so than silver. Just the governments have way more control of the oil markets than they do of the precious metal markets. And the S&P is pushing to the highs, which again is surprising. Bitcoin is so low, but Bitcoin is recovering, right? And Bitcoin can recover really quickly. Guys, if the S&P has a Santa Claus rally, I can see Bitcoin going from 95 to 135 fairly quickly. Like fairly quickly. It can happen in a matter of a month and a half. So if the S&P is in the headlines for breaking 7,000 at year end, I can see Bitcoin at new all-time highs. If not year end, by end of January.
And Tone, just on that, I mean, I was talking about 3-day green diamonds for months, right? And then we got one. And I was cautious, like, no, I'm still waiting. Do you know what I mean? Like, and because I was waiting for a weekly, it
Should
might be,
happens.
yeah. No, which is I'm okay with that. Don't worry, it's okay. If Bitcoin rallies, I'm the happiest guy in the world. But I mean, like, we might look back on that, and I'm not. I'll say it right now. I'm not going to go, I told you guys, look at this 3-day green. I'll be like, I missed that one. Like that. I'll be first to it.
Yeah. Remember what was it? I was so angry that I missed the trade. Was it NVIDIA? I forgot. There was one trade that I was so pissed that I missed by one day, and then it crashed like 15%. Like the day I was going to short it was the day it opened 15% lower. I was pissed for like 2 weeks. I kept talking about it.
I remember it. You were upset. You didn't even want to look at it anymore. You were just like, I can't look at this. This is too frustrating. I can't remember.
It might have been NVIDIA at the top. It might have been NVIDIA like right here in October.
Yeah, something. Yeah.
I
remember it really well.
Or maybe this one. Let me see. I forgot. I mean, the audience will probably remember it. I forgot what it was. I really forgot what it was.
You never recovered from it.
No.
Yeah. Well, I mean, just on that as well. Like, I'll take back. You finish off, and I'll take back the charts, and I'll show you what
I think I'm done.
We'll just quickly jump back to mine then, just to recap and finish off. Weekly time frame. It's at 90 now. I have conviction. I think that the weekly green diamond will come in. So I'm cautious because of all the overhead resistance. Like, the balance has so far to go. It's what I said in the show that, like, on the weekly, it looks like we're not going to be comfortable to 110, right? It's a long way to go. Now, all these oscillators will tell us, like the MACD, which looks tragic, will start to roll. Right? It'll start to roll. These are lagging indicators. The EXA will cross over bullish, right? The RSI will recover and the Colpic curve will round. I'm not gonna go and load up on Bitcoin when all of these things are pointing flat down. When they start to round, and you'll see it from the 1 hour look bullish, the 4 hour will look bullish, the 3 day, the daily, the 3 day, the weekly. It's a wave. Right now, the wave is still drawing out, and it'll come back in, right? So, or whichever analogy you want. And for me, it hasn't done that yet. And I'll be wrong if I'm wrong. And I believe in the wave of charts, and it hasn't rolled over yet. That's all I've got for you. Time back in the studio.
All right. Real quick, it is Thanksgiving. I mean, everyone's on a day off. I forgot to look at the live chat today. Let me. I want to go through a live chat. I want to go through a few questions. Matt, if you want to go to sleep, feel free to close us out. I'll stay on like 5-10 more minutes, and I'll go through the comments and some questions. People wanted me to look at Meta, Netflix. I'll stick around for a few minutes. Matt, you still there?
I don't know.
I think he froze. You froze, man. All right, Matt's gone. All right, I'm gonna take over. Let me take a look at some of your live chat here. Okay, we got Wesher asked, Tone, do you see 2021, 2022 as a double top? In hindsight, I now see it as a double top. In real time, I did not see it as a double top. So I don't know if you're asking the question in terms of comparisons to today, but in hindsight, I did not see this as a double top. In hindsight, I saw this as a higher high because we had a higher swing high and multiple higher weekly closes and multiple higher daily closes. So to me, this was not a double top. It was a higher high. But in hindsight, when you look back at it, it looks a lot more like a double top. And certainly divergence was massive, which I don't want to say I missed, but I kind of didn't put enough stock on it. If we look at the current situation, it looks similar, but not really, because the time between those two back then was a lot longer. We were like almost a year in between them. And here we were just a few months in between them. And this is not a double top to me either, but for different reasons. To me, this is either a single high or it's a consolidated high. So back then it was a double top, which I don't consider to be a traditional top. And this looks more like a consolidated top, which I also don't see as a traditional top. So while it's possible that the bear market will begin and this will be the high for the cycle, I still don't think it is. And we still have not pushed below the low. So if you're wondering where we are right now in comparison to the prior situation, we are bouncing off this area right here. Okay, we had a high, we pulled back down, we made a higher high, we pulled back down, but we haven't yet broken the prior lows to indicate that this is the high for the cycle. And we rallied probably about, that looks like close to 30% to me, 40%, even 40%, right? We rallied 40% before we got rejected. And then somewhere over here, you start on this red star candle, you start to realize, shit, this was the top. And then the breakdown happens. So this is where we are. If you want to compare us to the 2022 market structure, we are bouncing off of this area here like in January of 22. Now, will we be able to break above this? Now, at the time, I was still, hopeful to avoid this candle here. And if we could have avoided this candle here, then we would have never had this massive bear market. Now, the advantage we have this time is that this is all happening a lot quicker. From this original high to this area, that's a year. That's pretty much a year because that's February. But for us, this isn't a year. This is like less than 6 months. So this is a lot shorter. So it's July to November. It's like 5 months, and not a year. And we're still like this. Hopefully this stays. I'm going to leave this as a horizontal line, but if we can rally past these moving averages, then this would have been a higher low. This is a long answer to a question I didn't even really understand, but let's move on. Okay, Meta and Netflix. I took the Meta trade last Friday, and Netflix, I took the trade yesterday based on MRI daily and weekly. Let's go and take a look. Hey, Sandsteak, you've been watching me forever, brother. Weekly, beautiful MRI buy on Meta. Great job buying the MRI. Absolutely excellent. Love it. On the daily, even better. Look at that timing. Look at the timing. You buy it Friday. What a beautiful trade. You should be doing these streams and not me. Beautiful trade. You are up about 15%, maybe 10%. 8%. There you go. Great job. Great trade. Beautiful. Let's look at Netflix. Oh, Netflix split. Interesting. Netflix gives you a daily MRI buy today. And on a weekly scale, it still has some room. We're dealing with an A+ right now. You have to watch my educational videos to know what that is. I'm not as keen on Netflix. Netflix didn't set you off as well as Meta did. Also, notice the monthly and the yearly MRI tops. Netflix is not as clean. All right, let's see. Any other questions? Yeah, I already mentioned silver. I'm going to stay a little patient, but my patience is about to run out. Meta was such a good trade that I already took profit and moved it into IBIT calls. Wow, pretty good job too. I went very aggressive with Meta. But Sandsteak, I hope you've taken my options course. If you're buying calls, make sure you take that options course, man. It is Black Friday. Maybe I'll drop the price a bit. I gotta check that out. If you go to tonevase.com, if you're trading options, oh yeah, I gotta talk about my affiliates. I didn't mean to click on that. I'm adding a bunch of health stuff. I'm gonna talk about it on my channel. I gotta add a few more. Some of these things are on discounts, but I may need to explain. I only put things here that I use. Okay, and if anyone has a connection to TorGuard, I've been reaching out to them for 5 years. They owe me money that I can't get a hold of them. But they've been on my affiliate link forever. I only make like $1,000 a year, but I've never been able to withdraw it. That I've been on YouTube for 10 years, so you could do the math yourself. I'm like, are they a real company? Because I'm not able to withdraw any affiliate revenue, and after 10 years, I think I should probably take some out. But I'm going to put a lot more health stuff here because I'm going to switch my personal channel to longevity, health, and wellness. And I got to do before or after pictures on my body too. Where was I going? Products and services, trading education, I think. Yes. Options course, it's totally worth it. If you're going to buy a call option, you need to know what you're doing. You really need to know what you're doing. Absolutely worth it. Let's get back to the chart and questions. Those options are only 2 weeks out. No, that's a mistake, dude. I know you haven't watched my options course. I know you haven't. If you bought options that are 2 weeks out, you have not watched my options course. I know that for a fact, because you wouldn't buy options 2 weeks out if you did. Okay. You would sell options 2 weeks out, but you would never buy options 2 weeks out. All right, next. Okay, let's see. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, happy Thanksgiving, guys. The higher 5 closes, the higher 9 could print. Stock market looks super bullish. I hope my connection's good. MSTR is tricky. MSTR has a lot of rumors that they're going to be removed from some indices. So MSTR is coming up on a. I would still consider MSTR, but if it gets removed from indices, there'll be less investment in the MSTR stock. But I think that's already priced in. Yeah, MSTR looks interesting. I don't have much to say. Weekly MRI buy next week. MSTR is definitely something to keep an eye on. I'm not really an Ichimoku guy. Nike. Weekly looks bullish-ish. I'm not very confident. Daily, I like the green star, but look at this downtrend. I don't know. I'm not a fan of Nike. I'm just not a fan of their slave labor practices. Never been a Nike fan. I don't really buy Nike shoes. Oh yeah, Matt shaved his head. I need to go get a haircut. I'm gonna defend my silver short. I don't see how shorting silver was any different than shorting Nike right here at the MRI top. I mean, look, assets don't go into exponential rises often, and when they do, I've made good money on these kinds of shorts before, and I've been burned when I didn't short them. I have no problem shorting silver at the top. This was the top in silver. I mean, right now we're getting a green star. Yeah, I'll probably exit the short, but like, look at this weekly MRI and look at this monthly MRI. Like, why would I not short silver here? This kind of trade comes around once a decade. This is a once in a decade trade. I'll take that short every time. I mean, here's the last time something similar happened. I didn't even have an MRI on the silver futures. This time I had the MRI. Gold had the MRIs. I have no problem with shorting silver at the top. It is the top. I think it's crazy going long silver because it just had an exponential rise. I don't know about Nike. I mean, the chart isn't that the chart certainly doesn't look as good as Meta. I mean, look, Netflix could be a good trade, Sand Snake. If the market is starting to rise for the Santa Claus rally, but you're kind of stretching it a bit that it bottomed, right? It's the MRI top is still 2 weeks. MRI buy is still 2 weeks away. Channel bottoms aren't really that great of a buying opportunities. Yeah, I know you're stretching your conviction on the fact that it's bottomed, but you could be benefited from an overall market rise. Yeah, never trade the holidays. Like, take time off. Take time off. Trump said Turkey's Biden. No. All right, we looked at Nike. Let me see. Tesla. Is PLS please, or is PLS another stock? Tesla monthly, very bullish. Very bullish. Wow. Tesla weekly. Bullish, not very bullish. Should get a green 1 next week with a green star after that. And Tesla daily, bullish. I like the green star. I'm going to say a little somewhere in between bullish and very bullish, because you're dealing with resistance. But by the time you break resistance, you're going to hit the MRI top, which could create a problem. Tesla looks bullish to me. Is my internet still buggy? It should be fine. How's my Dr. Jack Cruz journey going? I know I don't really have a Dr. Jack Cruz journey, but the next time I'm in El Salvador, I'm going to stay at his house. I'm going to see what I can learn. There are things I disagree with him on, like blood work. But other than well, we're gonna talk about that. I'm gonna do so much health and wellness content next year, guys. If you're interested in being healthy, you may want to tune in. So is PLS a stock, or was that like a short term for please? No, it's got to be. Oh, wow. Well, if PLS was a stock, it's an Australian company. Beautiful MRI top with extension A, 1 to 4 candle correction, and green star candle next week. Look at this $3 stock. People keep telling me, oh, there are all these shit coins. There are all these shit coins you can make good money on. Well, look at this thing. I just randomly picked it. There's your alphanumerics green diamond on the daily. And look, this thing is up 300% this year. You can always find the stock that's up 300-400%. And everyone could have afforded it. It was $1. I don't even know what this is, but it's on a weekly MRI top, so you may want to be careful. Wow, weekly MRI top, AC. Matt's Australian. Maybe he'll know what this company is. Pilbara Minerals Limited, mining company. All right. BTI. BITF. That's Bitfarms. Bitfarms been doing good. MRI top, pulled back. I'm neutral on it. What else we got? BTI. I think we've looked at this one before. BTI, look at that beautiful MRI buy. See, that's a bottom, Sand Snake. That's where that's a beautiful weekly MRI top. Coming off a monthly MRI top, 1 to 2 month correction. Now it's a green star candle. Beautiful weekly MRI top. And did the daily time you well? Not crazy well. Extension C, extension A, but the weekly did it. Beautiful. Look at that. Awesome. Bullish. I guess everyone's going back to smoking. Crocs. Is Crocs a publicly traded company? Well, I think it's this. I cannot believe Crocs as a company. Do you guys know how Crocs got started? Do you guys know who the first customer of Crocs shoes was? Look at that beautiful MRI tops. I think we're going to end it with Crocs. Does anyone know who the first major customer of Crocs shoes was? Like, who bought the first 1,000 Crocs shoes? Like, as a bulk purchase? I'll wait. And we're going to close it on this. Who was the first bulk, I'm going to buy 1,000 Crocs shoes purchaser? Jesus. Wait for someone to get. Don't Google it. That won't be fair. Do not Google this. If you Googled it and you have the answer, do not answer. Elon, no. I think it was in the year 2002. Something in that area. Prisons. Close. Very close. Very close. Do I tell you guys? Should I tell you? It was the costume designer for the movie Idiocracy. If you've watched the movie Idiocracy, it's actually one of almost my top 10 movies of all time. The movie Idiocracy, which is turning into a documentary released in 2006 about a futuristic society where people get dumber and dumber and dumber and dumber. And this movie needed all the people in America or on the planet to wear the dumbest shoes they could come up with for the movie, because everyone, like, the society is just too stupid to function. And they went with Crocs because that's what they thought about Crocs. And no one was wearing Crocs at the time. So the first purchase of Crocs was as a costume prop for the movie Idiocracy. And if you have not watched this movie, it is an absolute must for your end of year comedy to watch with your family. They were the first purchasers of Crocs. How many of you have seen the movie Idiocracy? Yeah, so if you Google Idiocracy and Crocs, and just go to images, there they are. They're all wearing Crocs. Every single character. And this is the prison scene when someone said prison. So this is where he was in prison, Luke Wilson. They're all wearing like orange Crocs. Yeah, it is a great documentary. And apparently there was an exchange of a conversation between Mike Judge, who's the director, and the costume designer. And the director is like, what if one day these shoes are actually going to be popular? And the costume designer is, there's no fucking way these ridiculous shoes are going to ever be popular. And here we are 20 years later. All right, guys. And on this note, we're going to call it a day. Thank you all so much for watching. I'm going to pull up a short-term chart of Bitcoin. We are rallying. We are at 91,000. Beautiful. All right, guys. 50-50 at a show tomorrow. Maybe we'll take an extended long weekend. Can't promise anything. I'm probably going to do, I got to get in with Jimmy Song. We got to do an update on Knots versus Core. And I might do a little health stream on my channel because there's a lot of discounts on a lot of health stuff that I do. So I kind of want to just throw it out there so you guys can take advantage of some of the discounts on Black Friday. Thank you all for watching and see you all on the next one. Bye, guys. I don't have a Thanksgiving background, just a Christmas one.